Hello everyone. In this short video, I'm hoping to give you some interesting insights into Rahu and Ketu in your horoscope. Now, there are many different interpretations of Rahu and Ketu in the birth chart, and I just hope that what I'm going to offer to you now, with all respect to all the gurus and great sages in astrology, will be something different perhaps to what you've heard before, and will offer you some interesting insights. So let's get started with Ketu in the first house and Rahu in the 7th house. Right, so it's very important that we understand that what we are looking at here when we have Rahu in the 7th and Ketu in the 1st, what we actually have is a cardinal axis placement of the nodes. And this is really important. If you are born with the nodal aspects in the 1st or 4th or 7th or 10th, this is a crucial incarnation. Now, every incarnation into human form is special and important because we so rarely get this life. But when you are born with this particular axis, then you are actually at a turning point in your spiritual and your material evolution. And I've seen it time and again that people who have these nodes, 1st, 4th, 7th or 10th, feel an intense feeling of destiny from the moment they are born. It doesn't really matter whether it's Rahu here, here or here. These houses here give a feeling of intense importance to this incarnation. Even as a child, you will have felt this. So let's look into more detail about how this will impact on you. So, if you have Ketu in the first house of your horoscope, you have taken birth to clear some really important past karmas. Now, everybody is taking birth with the weight of their past karmas. And obviously, Ketu is a particular portion of karma that we have to clear in this life through Rahu, through the opposite house. However, if you are born with this Ketu in your first house, you will feel very different, very odd, very separate as a very young child. And this feeling of separateness, this feeling of difference will echo throughout your whole incarnation. Why has this happened? It's happened because you have a knowledge of things that really is not reflected in your family, in your friends, in the people around you. You are quite a special person to have been born with this axis. What you have is a feeling of almost deja vu. You have this feeling of having been here before, having experienced this particular circumstance before. Now, there's a whole range of philosophy about how we sometimes have to re-experience incarnations. I'm not going to go into there. Let's just say that you know that you've come here with a mission impossible almost, because this is the first house, the Aries house, irrespective of the sign of Ketu. You have a feeling of being urgently needing to rectify things, but you're unclear what it is you have to do until you come into the dasha of Ketu and the dasha of Rahu. And I'll be discussing that in a minute. So, what will your personality be like? Well, you're going to hear time and time again that if you've got Ketu in the first house, you are withdrawn, solitary, lonely, sad, lacking in confidence. Some of it is true, but not all of it. Here's the point. Ketu in the first house gives you a great deal of self-confidence. Oh yes, it's the Aries house, and Ketu is like Mars. It's very similar to having Mars rising. So you are not lacking in confidence, not inside. Inside you are very confident and sure of yourself. Where you find your problems is when you have to deal with other people. And of course, we have to deal with other people every day. When you're on your own, when you're in your room studying your, occult and your astrology and all the things that Ketu in the first house loves, then you're happy, you're fine. It's when you have to deal with other people in the world that your confidence can sometimes take a knock. So you are an assertive, confident, and very knowledgeable person. And you may have other things about you, like you don't care much for how you look half of the time, because this is the indicator of the flag in astrology. You've spent lifetimes caring for your appearance and trying to look gorgeous and doing all the things that make you look young. You've been there, done that, and you feel like, hey, what's the point? We're going to die anyway. So you do have this feeling of what the hell about how you look, how you talk. You are sure of yourself, and you're not trying to prove anything to other people. You are sure of yourself. But the issue is that sometimes you find that dealing with other people can bring you down, can knock this inner self-confidence. And I've actually seen some people with this as being actually really sure of themselves. They don't want to have any confrontations or any arguments because they don't want to be knocked off their perch, okay? A second thing that I've also seen is that you are very often having a strange early environment. You may have been, you may have not had your parents around you very much. You may have been adopted. You may have been taken to a foreign place, a different country. Something has interfered with your childhood that has made you separate and made you rather different. Okay? And there may be sicknesses, there may be strange sicknesses that are in relation to this move or this change in your life, like a climate, related, a concern. Okay, but on the whole, it's not a person who is shy and lacking in confidence. It's a person who is secure in themselves but has issues with other people. Now, when you go into the dasha of Ketu, all of the past knowledge that you have gained in your incarnations will come upon you. It's really rather better for this particular axis if you have this dasha early in your life. And if you do, you get to know. You might become obsessed with past lives. You might become obsessed with the occult, astrology, and it's all to the good because you have knowledge of this, okay? But these are the houses which are aspected by Ketu, the 5th house and the 9th house. Now, my experience of this, and again, you might not have heard this, but my experience is that you only really tune in to these aspects when you go through the dasha of Ketu. And when you go through that time, but I'm not saying that there will not be some issues with the 5th house and the 9th house, but particularly in the dasha. And in that dasha, you will find issues with children. You will find that it really comes to the fore. There may have been a real concern all of your life with a lack of ability to have a child, or there can be separation from a child. There can be also a feeling that you want children but you don't want children. You should have children but you really like being on your own. You really don't want the fuss of children. Okay, that's an issue with the 5th house. And the 9th house, father issues. There will be father issues if you are born with this placement, without doubt. They can vary according to sign, according to all the other grahas involved, but there will be father issues. There will be some issue to do with a guru, to finding the right guru for you will be very troublesome. And again, in the particular dasha of Ketu, these particular concerns will become very, very prominent. Okay, so now let's move on to Rahu in the 7th house. So now let's focus in on Rahu in the 7th house. I've just explained to you how with this Ketu, you are a quite shy person, not in the sense of being lacking in self-confidence, but that you prefer your own company. You're not lacking in confidence at all. You're very sure of yourself, but you feel strange and rather unsure of yourself dealing with other people. Why is that? Because you have avoided this in your past incarnations. You have maybe some particular karma with being not very diplomatic, not very caring of other people, dare I say it. Sometimes you're so sure of yourself and you feel better on your own that you just really can't be bothered with needing to compromise. But this will be the karma of this life, that you move towards that 7th house Rahu, and again particularly during that particular time period, but in your whole incarnation, dealing with other people, forming close relationships will be so important to you, but so difficult. Now, what you're going to hear is Rahu in the 7th makes you promiscuous, loads of partners, can't settle in a relationship, assertive in relationships. I've not seen it. I've not seen it. I really haven't seen it. Rather, what I've seen is that Rahu here can make you, yes, you really want a relationship. It's important. You can become obsessed with getting that relationship right and put so much energy into it. Why? Because you don't know how to do it. You are so unsure of how to be with other people. You're fine on your own, not with other people, that you almost need a sort of a guidebook for how to deal with other people. So it's not that you're out there getting loads of girlfriends and boyfriends from an early age. Again, if you have a particular sign placement and some aspects involved here, that may be the case, but it's rare. I've seen moreover, I've seen here a feeling of trying to desperately have a relationship and thinking, I can't be bothered, it doesn't work, I can't be bothered, moving towards yourself again, because here is your safe place, here is your not safe place. Okay, and we all seek self-preservation, so we seek ourself, we seek our safe place in the 1st house. So what are the indicators of this then? Well, the indicators are that you lack a trust in other people. You have not developed this ability, which may be coming from your early childhood that I've just talked about, but you do lack a trust in other people. And if you are promiscuous, if you do seem to be going from this relationship to this relationship, why is that? It's because you can't really fully trust. You can't give yourself totally to any one relationship. And this is a karma which you have to overcome, that you need to overcome in this lifetime. So what may tend to happen to you? Well, you may tend to marry people who are not in your caste, not in your culture, and certainly who don't live near to you. And you may meet a partner when you are traveling far away from home, and you will certainly be very attracted to people from different cultures, from different religions. You'll be very, very attracted to them. Now, it isn't a completely negative placement. It doesn't mean that you're going to fail in your marriage. It does mean, and here's my point, that you need to overcome this need for isolation. You can't have a relationship if you want to be in isolation. So what you may find is that you have long distance. I've seen this so many times. You have a long distance relationship. Time and again I've seen Rahu in the 7th gives a real almost default of long distant relationships. Why? Because Rahu is about foreign places. Rahu is about travel. And this may just happen to you. You mightn't even seek it out, but inwardly you are. Why is that? Because when you have a long distance relationship, you have more time to yourself. Hey, hey. And that's what you need. That's your safe place. Okay, so it's really not such a negative placement as people have tried to tell you. But you may have a late marriage, you may have a strange marriage, a different marriage. It all depends on the aspects, but you will have to put so much effort into it. You have to work at your relationships far more than other people. You will not have easy relationships. They will never be easy. You will be dissatisfied because they never seem to go right. You'll be fed up with, why have I got to work on relationship issues again? Why can't I just find someone who'll be there for me? Again, it's all to do with past karma. And in a way, you really attract people to you. You are not unattractive. You are self-sufficient. You are confident. You attract people. But always, it's not the right person. And even if there is a right person, you are going to find that this is a person who's very different to you. They'll be very different to you. So your partner will require that you become very diplomatic, very unselfish, very caring, more soft-hearted than what you would like to be. I'm not saying you're not a soft-hearted person. You can be very soft-hearted, very compassionate, but you find it difficult to trust other people, and this can make you come over as not that way. You can be really competitive also with other people, because particularly when you go into the dasha of Rahu, your life is going to take off major. Okay, so, and this is really depending when you have the dasha and what the number of this dasha is. So I haven't got time here to bring all of that in, but you are certainly, and I think it's far better to have this later in life. If you have Rahu in the 7th as your dasha early in life, you are going to have some pretty crazy relationships going on that don't work, that don't satisfy you, and that maybe lead you to have less confidence in yourself. However, if you're fortunate and you have it later in life, and by later in life I mean really past 30 years of age, then you are going to attract more suitable partners. But still, there will be all the issues I've mentioned. And of course, you will be impacted by the 11th house and the 3rd house more than ever in your Rahu Dasha. What will this mean? This means that you will all of a sudden attract new friends, new opportunities for gain, and you will also have more interaction with your siblings. Okay, now this can be either negative or maybe sort of positive. It just depends on the sign itself and all the grahas here. Yeah, but it's a very positive place to have Rahu during a dasha. It isn't just about the 3rd and the 6th and the 11th that you've all heard about. That's a good place for Rahu to be. Yes, it is, but here's the aspects, here and here. So it's a very positive thing. If you are ready to come out of your shell into the world, dare to trust other people, dare to let go of your preconceived ideas, you can have a wonderful Rahu Dasha. Okay, I do hope that all this information was useful to you. I'm going to do a whole new series here, so please sub to my channel if you'd like to. I'm starting out again on YouTube, and I hope I can be of service to you all. Okay, so goodbye for now.